La la aloha. Hey, it's Julie Ziemelis, 365 Hawaii, and also with Keller Williams. And I'm here with Lance Owens, and he is with LUVA Real Estate, and we're both 365 Hawaii at this point.
Yeah.
And we are happy to bring to you guys the news and the views
News
from
and views.
Lance Owens. Hey, also, you guys, as we're starting this, the people who are seeing this on YouTube, you could be seeing this live and asking questions live if you were part of our 365 Ohana. To join that, please go to movetohawaii365.com and click the button Move to Hawaii and join Ohana. And you'll get a chance to access our private Facebook group in which we are actually filming this. And also, new today, I just finished it. I just want you guys to know, if you're moving to East Hawaii, I just created a moving guide that has all the cool contact information about cars, pets, kids, the whole thing. And I want to thank Tammy Pierce from the 365 Hilo group for updating that for me and creating it so I can give it to you guys as a member benefit. So with that, let's go to Lance and what's going on.
That was Tammy's husband that was volunteering at the Kona Festival, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys talk about the Kona Festival now? Because that was really cool while we wait for people to sign in and follow us. But that Julie, who loves to set up her events, it was fantastic. It was a good party. Once again, nobody listened to the fact that she said there's going to be 500 people here. Be ready for it. The beer garden ran out of beer at 3:30. And
hey, you know what I really found out about that?
What?
It wasn't the fact that they ran out of beer. You know what happened?
Huh.
They were inexperienced staff that didn't know how to change out the keg things.
The tapper.
So they had to go to the canoe house and ask them to help come over and change it out for them. And those guys took forever to come over there and actually help them change it out. That's what happened.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So amazing. So
she warned them. She told them, be prepared. This wasn't
and they should have
Julie's
had some
fault.
senior staff helping them at that moment. Yeah. So we had hundreds of people in the beer garden.
Hundreds. I was one of them.
Yeah. Hey, and also
with some of you guys too.
Yeah, we saw quite a few people from our 365 Ohana.
Yeah.
Lots of people who have been helped into homes by Lance and Delania and Amber and even Eric. Eric had a couple of his clients come and say hi. Great opportunity for community. We had some bands and we had some fun. We had some rain. Which was kind of sad at the end. But
actually, I want to say something because I thought it was perfect because it wasn't hot. Nobody was getting sunburnt. Mm-hmm. As much as you would like a bright sunny day for as much outdoor time as we spent there, I loved it having it overcast. It was a nice change.
Yeah,
I thought it was good. Yeah. And a little bit of liquid sunshine, called rain sometimes. I that's my
yeah, but you got a chance to walk out of there at what, 4:35?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so Eric and I were breaking down that stage in the rain, driving rain in the dark until 9:00 p.m. So when everyone looks at events and goes like, "Oh, how fun!" The setup and takedown for these kinds of events is immense. So somebody says, "Are you going to keep doing this?" I'm like, "This is so hard. I'd rather just sell real estate." Or be on the internet with Lance over here.
All right, so I got a couple funny things. So Kevin Peterson's with us.
Hey, Kevin.
He says, Lance helped us deplete the alpha booze.
That's right. Kevin Peterson was there in the bar.
And, Sally Paris says, you guys look great. So there
thanks,
you
guys.
And
awesome.
Lori,
I appreciate that.
Porter is watching as well.
Hey, Lori.
Hey, Lori.
And Kevin, thank you for those cocktails. That was good. I appreciate that very much. So that was a good day.
Funny. It was a good day. I wish I could have joined you guys. That was it just took the cake. By the time I wanted to go in there and have a Mai Tai, they're like, "Oh, you need to tell people not to come in here anymore for a while." I'm like, I never would have had to have thought that would happen. So because they were trying to give those guys a break up at the in the bar. Yeah. Because people were already waiting, I guess, a half an hour for a drink. And so they just wanted to pull people back. So
Kevin had the spot, man.
I saw he was right in the middle, on the bench.
Right in the middle there. We did not have any wait for a cocktail.
Oh, how funny. Well, if we do this again, what we're thinking about doing is doing it so that there's an outdoor beer garden so people will be outside more and mingling and things like that. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so.
All right, moving forward. What we got? Eric's already given us this wrap-up thing.
He's like,
we're going to rat you out when you tell us to do things, Eric. So I'm going to kind of jump into the numbers here real quick. So looking at residential house sales, number of homes sold is down 32%, but we know why. You guys could start doing this report for us, I think. I do have a couple little bit of different news this time, so that'll be good.
Okay.
But anyway, so 75 homes sold last year in April and 43 sold this year in April.
Okay.
On condominiums, 85 sold last year and 45 sold this year. That's a 40% drop in the number of condos sold.
Because there's no inventory.
Because there's no inventory. Yeah. So real quick to jump into the inventory of homes. So we had 43 sell last month, right? Mm-hmm. There's 59 active today. 89 are contingent
already
today.
Boom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 89 contingent, 59 active. Of those homes that sold, what did we say? 45 sold. Of those, 12 of them sold in under 5 days. So that's a little bit less than a third of them sold in under 5 days, under a week. So 2/3 of them were sitting out there a little bit longer.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Only 30 of them sold, 32 sold in under 30 days. So we are getting a little bit more time in the market.
Okay.
So that's a good thing for buyers. A little bit of time in the market, a little bit of time to make offers.
Yep.
On the condos, 21 out of the 46 condos sold in under 5 days.
Oh.
So almost half of them sold in under
Quickly.
5 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, going back to 2005 and 6, you guys, it's kind of exactly what happened back then. You know, as the homes got up to, we're going to talk about their median price in just a minute, but as homes got up to that median price, the condos was the only thing affordable.
Yeah. So people could just put money into the condos.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why we got so many, selling under 5 days.
Yeah.
34 of the 46 sold in under 10 days. 24 of the 46 sold for cash, and there was 2 1031 sales. And you can, again, why do I care about 1031 sales? Well, it's telling us how many investors are coming into the market. Yeah. So of the 2 1031 investors, that's not a lot. Yeah,
Right.
That's really small.
Yeah.
So maybe a lot of new people are becoming investors, but old money that's trading out of coming in from the mainland and putting their investment, just, transferring the equity over here, only 2. So.
Okay. Well, and it would be interesting if there's a way to track it, to find out how many people buying condos are taking their big fat money into houses, downsizing and moving over here full time and becoming full time residents. Because some of the people that we've helped into condos lately are single older women who are planning on moving here full time.
Men here will be happy, huh?
Yeah, well, we have a dearth of good older men for our single older women. So if you were thinking about moving to Hawaii, it's like Alaska reversed. We have a lot of women here needing some good men.
So
I'm telling you guys, I'm
the dating game.
A singles picture for all these people coming. Then you go, it'd be nice to meet somebody.
All right, with that, we'll take a little person break. Laurie Porter says aloha. Jane Porter says aloha. Julie, Lance, and Eric.
Aloha,
Banking
guys.
conference in Dallas. Wouldn't think of missing you all. And then Dave said, Lance, have you heard about what's called a 721 exchange? I think he means a 1031 exchange.
No, maybe there's something else.
I'm not familiar with the 7.
Unless
721.
he's wrong. Dave, maybe you can chime back in here. It's
Yeah.
Dave Bucknell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he says it exchanged with rental property. That's why I'm thinking it's a 1031 exchange.
Yeah, usually it's investment for investment property.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
across
Like
the
for
switch.
like. So.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
But okay, clarify if you can, Dave, and then and he says no about it just because he misspelled, but you guys don't know that.
Okay, is that Dave Bucknell?
Yeah.
Oh, hey Dave. If I don't know if Tammy's on board, but tell her again. Thank you for helping us with that moving guide.
Awesome.
Okay.
And thank you, Dave, for helping at the event.
At the event,
right?
yeah.
It's good to see you. Okay, so that was our residential and condominium numbers. Vacant land went from 33 sales last year to 11 this year, so it's a 66% drop.
Wow. Now, is
So-
that an inventory problem or a building problem?
I think it's a little bit of both still.
Yeah.
Land is still kind of still busy, but a year or two ago I was telling people to get land and build because the prices had skyrocketed so much. Don't do that now.
No.
Okay, don't. Yeah, wait. Buy the land if you can get a good deal on it. But we'll jump into the median price on land in a second and see what that is. A lot of people always want to know what's going on in North Kohala, right? Mm-hmm. So residential sales, in South Kohala. Residential sales went from 30 last year to 17 this year. Condos went, so that's a 43% drop. Emmett wants to know. Condos went from 54 to 31, so that's a 42% drop.
Wow.
So
There's just not that much on the market.
there's nothing, they got no inventory out there
Wow.
either. So You want to jump in? You guys know I just got back from Washington D.C. Legislative meetings out there, and good news, bad news is this is a nationwide problem. I think we all know that from the news. But interesting facts that we picked up on that was they're really they're pulling out all the stops. Government has been so overreaching over the last 10 years with permits and zoning, and gotten so crazy it's slowed down a lot of things, and they're blaming a majority of this problem not on COVID, not on anything else, but on government regulations. So they're telling them to open up some dual zoning. We need to open things up. We got plenty of land here in Hawaii. We need to start moving things. We need to do it. So a couple of different things on the pipeline they're talking about, but the biggest thing is we need workforce housing.
Yes.
And we're they're putting a play on the words. Instead of affordable housing, they're using affordable home ownership, because affordable housing makes you think more of people that it's all subsidized and not affordable. It seems to, and I think that runs about 3% of the economy of the people out there. So it's an important 3%, but it's a small percentage. We need to look at the big percentage of where we need a lot of help.
Because we need a lot of help.
Yeah.
There's not enough workers here.
Yeah, there's not enough workers.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Yeah.
So a couple of things to play. They're years down the road, though. We don't see anything interesting. The mayor called me yesterday, and
Mitch Roth, the man.
Mitch Roth called me, so that you're doing something right,
or something alarming and shocking.
Something alarming and shocking. I've had state legislators call me on the weekend. I've had the mayor call me on a Wednesday evening, so that is good. You're doing something right if that's happening. So, but he did say
Shit disturber.
he did say that they're working on some things for affordable housing that went from a handful to into the hundreds. So,
Hundreds.
Yep, into the hundreds. So that's a lot. That's a big, huge percentage jump.
Yeah.
So that's
he knows that we need this too.
Yeah.
It's interesting, you guys. If you just wander around downtown, there's help wanted signs everywhere. And they are opening up, it looks like, maybe you know this information, they're bulldozing this huge center next to Costco. You see them out there bulldozing. I think it's supposed to be a new shopping area or something.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Haven't even noticed that.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge.
Attention.
And
I go to Costco every day.
And
Maybe
it's
that's
on
why.
the right hand side, and it's completely
coming down or going up.
As you're going.
It's before it's on the lower road. You're coming in right before it's Spectrum.
At the end of the road. At the end of the road going up there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it looks like it's acres and acres.
Yeah.
And I'd heard that they might put housing into that, because I looked at the future housing supply thing.
That's
I know
such
it's
a
weird to
weird
put. I know.
place for
But get this, I
housing.
saw a little line of housing zoning for that area, and then they're going to build retail and stuff on the side. But they're building so much more retail here that there's not enough housing for people who actually work
why
in
are
the
you
retail.
building? Why are you building retail exactly? I'm sorry. I was just going to try and pull up and see who owned that parcel. But
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Keep talking.
Okay.
So I do.
So anyway, also you guys, if you are here or thinking about moving here, I would have to say that with the idea that you said that the things are starting to kind of just slow down just a little bit. That we've recently had somebody who was able to get in pretty good without going through 15 offers to get into the place that she needed to get into to get an escrow. So that was good, because I don't think that helps anybody, including realtors and their clients, when you're fighting against 15 offers.
See, and to clarify that, because time and time again, people will run into me at a party or at the store, or some Costco, whatever, and they'll say, "Boy, you guys must be just, happy as could be." And it was good to know that pretty much everybody I talked to at the National is not the happiest they've been. It's kind of one of the worst times. Even though financially it's good, it's brought out a lot of ugly in people, from realtors to listing agents, buyers agents, to clients, to sellers, buyers and sellers. It's just brought out a lot of greed, a lot of anger, a lot of
Conniving, sneaky ways to get your offer
sneaky
accepted.
things, and underhandedness. It's not, like you say, we've seen. Typically, we would have one complaint a year about another fellow realtor. With 900 realtors, that's a pretty good average to have one complaint a year. We're having like 5 and 6 last year. So that's a huge increase in the number. So anyways, it hasn't been. Buyers are super frustrated. I know it. Sellers even, if you sold your condo 6 months ago, it was like, look how much more I could have got.
Yeah.
And so it's a stepping stone. So every one that closes, the next one's a little bit higher, next one's a little bit higher. So everybody's feeling the pinch, and it's not a happy market.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about the absorption rate real quick. You guys kind of highlighted that. So, real briefly, below 15% is a buyer's market. Over 20% is a seller's market. For years, we've been at right around 20, so we've been the high part of equal market, just bordering seller's market. We are at North Kona 95%. We're not even close to being a normal market. If I look at island-wide, they break it down by residential homes island-wide, so it's including everything, 71%. So it's still a huge thing. Condos, you guys remember we talked about how they're the really popular thing right now because of homes are unattainable. It's 219
Oh my
for
gosh.
condos. So if you're looking for a condo, you got a lot of competition out there, a lot of things going on. If we look at that, the amount of condos on the market today, again,
How much are they?
46 sold last month. 20, where'd it go? 29 are active today,
Okay.
and 75 are contingent.
Boom. Wow.
75.
What comes on
Over
goes
twice.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over
And
twice as many.
what Eric and I used to live in Sea Villas. Was it called Sea View? Sea
Village.
Sea Village. I didn't like living there. But the condos there were like, I don't know, let's say 400,000. One was on the market and sold for $969,000 today. Is that nuts?
Was that on the hot sheet today?
That was on the with contingent, and I was looking at because somebody said, what's like happened basically in the condo market, and I was scrolling through that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that had gone on before, and nobody thought it would sell for that much in that complex, and then it did, and then Eric was looking at Nahale Keoho.
Nahale Keoho.
Yeah, those ones are going for $1 million.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. So,
yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
It's crazy out there.
But as we're going to talk about, what about those interest rates coming down the market?
Let's jump into our median price.
Median price.
Guys. Median price. Residential median price in Kailua Kona, $999 last year at this time, $1.149 million today. So that's up $150,000 or 15%. Year to date, we're up 16.5% for our median home price.
No.
Year to date, so 1.149. That's
1.149. Wow.
Yep. So that's a tough one. Condos, median price last year this time $435. Median price today is $575.
And what's the percentage on that?
32% increase.
Wow. Well, that's about what the United States is running at right now. Like, what, 30% inflation on housing? I mean,
houses. It was interesting. They talked about that because they said housing. They're not including that in the inflation rate. Because
they're not.
No, because they've been going up before inflation, and it's not really part of inflation. It's because of the lack of inventory. It's not part of the inflation. I don't know. I'm not an economist, but that's what I heard. So Lawrence Yun gave a great speech. Oh, something in your way there, Kat? So
his old brew.
Yeah. So, so interestingly enough, they're expecting still a 5, by the end of the year, they're thinking interest rates, I think the number he put in there about 5% increase. So that's going to be a
5% increase over the fact that it was, so
increase in price. So we're looking year to date, not so much including, because these are all things are closed. A lot of them went into escrow before the rates got too crazy.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but some of them. So they think that's going to cool off. Some people are estimating well into the teens still. Lawrence Yun, I think he's well respected in the market. He's with NAR, and I look at him for the.
So he thinks that this is
by
crazy.
the end of the year, it's going to slowly be coming down from 20% to 15% to 10% to a little bit under.
Okay, 5 theoretically is normal, sort of. 4 to 5%.
That would be normal. So.
Well, I guess by the time that they get interest rates up to around like 9%, Because right now it's running at 6, right?
So 5, we're back down to 5.
Okay.
You know, roughly around 5. So it's already dipping some.
Okay.
And did you catch Caravan this morning when they talked about the rates are expected to go down to 4.8?
Really?
So yep.
Okay.
Yep. So.
Well, okay, wait. But if they keep talking about how the Fed's going to keep jacking up interest rates, did they all of a sudden change course on that concept of doing that?
You know, I don't know. I'm busy selling homes.
I wish the Winds were here with us right now, but they're sitting in Tuscany right now. So
I just kind of keep a look on the numbers, trying to, you know, I for 10 years they've been telling me that the interest rates are going to go up, and they never went up. So, shame on them. This interest rate is not normal. It can't sustain itself. The old numbers, they should have slowly went up. It shouldn't have doubled in 3 months.
Yeah,
that was crazy. So I think they got a lot of heat from that.
Okay.
So then maybe they backed it off some. You know, so Zillow says it's going to go up higher. Realtor NAR says it's going to reduce a little bit. Somebody else says that it's going to drop all the way down into the 4s. You know, so. We'll see how they. Yeah. So nobody knows. So you get 3 big players that are all giving 3 completely different scenarios.
Yeah. So. Well, I heard at least they're going to keep the guy who's running the Federal Reserve on board. Unless it's a woman, I can't remember. They just said they're going to keep going. Well, we'll see. We'll look back on this in 6 months and say what happened here. So,
yeah.
Okay, so what else you got?
So interesting. South Kohala median home price surpassed Kona at 1.225. Vacant land out there went to 600, and condominiums, again we're showing the resort area, went from 759 last year to 1,205,000 for median price, almost matching home prices for median price.
Wow.
Yep. So.
Yeah. That's so great news.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like. Oh, well.
In the meantime, so Dave says something new with rental 721, like a 1031, but trade for real estate stock. In Colorado, all are buying the single family houses and renting them out for top dollar. So
is that like hedge fund stuff where they're buying these out?
Or REITs, state investment trusts.
Yeah, they're just going in and buying these because they got lots of money and just buying an entire blocks.
Yeah, that's been coming into the market too. The investors at I think it's called Black Castle, something where they were saying that they were coming in and buying large swaths.
We haven't seen that here, though. We have not seen that here coming in.
Yeah.
They said it was happening up a little bit in Waimea.
Was it?
Our buddy up there said he was seeing some of that stuff, that investors are buying houses up in Waimea, but not the level of probably the other ones. I've heard a lot of those kinds of speculation buyers will buy like-minded or like-sized, each house, cookie cutter houses.
Yeah, like Pualani Estates, but they want a city that's full of Pualani Estates.
Right, that way they know what they're getting themselves into with the price, because everything is like-minded, where Hawaii doesn't fit that mold. And so I've talked to a lot of national companies that would like to come to Hawaii, but that our housing doesn't fit their mold.
It's too scary, yeah.
Yeah, everything's so different. Yeah. So
totally. We've never had a subdivision that we use for a standard, but we've always used like Ali'i for a standard on condos. Mm-hmm. So if they did want to do something in condos, that would be like one for them to go to.
Yeah.
But and that was discussed a lot at NAR.
Yeah.
And people were talking about that, and and it's like
about this investment buying up family homes.
So these hedge funds are coming in and getting way more return on their money buying something and renting it out. So, but it's going to turn America into a
renter nation.
Bunch of renters. The household dream is home ownership is it's a staple of America in what we strive, and we're going to lose that. So that's kind of scary.
It is scary.
They're talking about they didn't use the word deed restrictions, but I'm going to use that word because they're talking about workforce housing and how they're going to do it in. One of the things may be that you have to have had W-2s here in Hawaii for the last 5 years to get into some of this stuff, or...
There's people here who would love that idea.
Yeah,
they said you should have to live in Hawaii for at least 4 or 5 years before you get to have a house.
Yep.
That proves that you're going to stay. The fact that you're embedded in the community, and gives people who actually grew up here a chance to get housing.
Right. I mean, how's my kid going to buy a house at 1.169?
Yeah, how about my kids?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Well, I'm telling you, some clever needs to be happening right now.
And that doesn't mean everything. There's a ton of stuff out in the free market, but we
Yeah.
need to come up with some type of emergency powers, which we know that's not going to happen. But
Yeah.
but we need something similar to that so they can start breaking ground and doing some things,
Right.
and put that deed restriction on there so that people, and we don't want to take. We want to be careful because we want them. We don't want to restrict them from having the benefit of equity and things like that. So you got it's a fine line, and I don't know the answer. But I've been following these guys and watching them, and there's some things that maybe if you sell within 5 years, it has to be someone else that qualifies for that type of deal. Or if you sell over 5 years, you can take all the equity out of it you want. If it's subsidized by any way, you would pay back that equity that was subsidized by it. So it's a lot more complicated than just a
But you know what,
simple-
though? These models are playing out across America.
Right, yes, they
and
are.
I know that in Santa Cruz, they had one where you could buy the house for $200,000. Like, it was like a little cute little townhome. And you got in at $200, and you get to keep your equity. And then when you left, it stayed at $200. And somebody else who had like income qualifications or like teachers, firefighters, whatever, could come in for $200. And then they too would then build the equity and then leave. And so it kept the house.
Who's
affordable.
paying you the equity? The government?
No, when you keep paying your mortgage payment into it,
Uh-huh.
you take that money that you put into the mortgage payment, you take that with you.
Okay, but you're not building
You're not
equity.
big. You're not building like inflationary equity.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay. This could be a huge roundtable.
Yeah, because it is, because it's important to, because we don't want to discourage home ownership,
Yeah.
so we want to
But
encourage
then we
it.
also don't want people buying houses thinking their houses are going to go up 16% in 2 years either, because
Yep.
that's not normal.
That's not normally. Yep.
I mean,
that's
you
not
know.
normal. We need them to realize you're going to pay 4.5%, 5% interest, and you're going to gain 4%.
Because that's
equity
the,
a year,
and then maybe
you
you
know.
kind of do that, and then you kind of out of it. But we're not solving the world's problems today. So,
Thanks.
so if you guys are moving to Hawaii, and you're
I'm working on my scout badge.
yeah, if you're housing advocates, please join our group because we try and write letters to our legislative people about housing options when they come up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if I can also mention something that came up today that needs
Please.
some legislative help is
Don't get me in trouble.
I won't get you in trouble. This is an interesting one.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm listening.
Hawaii County, on its own, away from the state of Hawaii, is going to try and ban chemical sunscreen. And only mineral sunscreens are going to be able to be sold, brought into our county. And then that way it'll help save our reefs. Because the state has drug its feet so long on cutting out chemical sunscreen completely in its entirety that the county is having a shot at it. And they're looking for people who will submit letters supporting this opportunity for only mineral sunscreen to be used and brought into and sold here on our island.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're interested, I have that information for you if you want to send me an email at julie@ziemelis.com or drop notes down here in the comments and I'll give you guys the information. I posted it in the Kona newbies this morning if you guys want to throw in on that idea and let's save our reefs. If we can't cut down the price of housing, we can at least save our reefs.
Save our reefs.
So we all want to keep coming here and enjoying our beautiful oceans.
Hey,
So.
how's
No,
that
it's
sewer update? Do you have anything more on what happened
On septic?
with the septic?
Cesspool and septic.
Yeah.
Nothing new. That's pretty much dead for the year. So we're good to go. It's going to come up again next year, but for this year, it's all dead. So that's,
And then tell them about the permit business.
permit business. We went to Washington D.C. and we advocated for property rights for homeowners. And one of the things we did was this whole thing with the Epic system and the permits. We're going to make them null and void. These are older permits that need to be dealt with. We're not. The county's doing what needs to be done, but they're not doing it the right way.
Okay, tell them what the Epic system is.
Epic failure. It's you know what? Let me look at that screen. I forget what Epic Excel stands for. Sorry.
Highly
I
new and
opened my mouth.
improved and relatively
Electronic Processing and Information Center. Epic Electronic Processing and Information. It's designed to fast track all your permits and everything else. I don't know if anybody saw the UH report that just came out last week or two, I think.
Of what?
They did a nationwide study on permitting process across the entire United States country of America. And the county of Hawaii is the worst in the nation.
Good Lord.
Number one, double as bad as New Jersey, who is second, I think it is. So
Double as bad.
double as bad.
Wow.
Is that a word? Is that a term?
But get this,
They're double as bad.
their property taxes are almost the highest in the nation, so you would think that they would give it the best service for the county.
Yeah.
Where, we get what we pay for here. But I know that they spent a boatload on this new website, and they've been talking about this for a long time, and it has not solved the problem.
Exactly. It's made the problem worse. We know there's a learning curve, but yeah, this is a nightmare. And so that's what the mayor called me on last night.
The fact that he created a nightmare system.
It's not. I gotta say it goes throughout the entire gamut of people that are battling him for doing this and doing that. They're not giving him a chance, and they're suffering from they had 8 people to process permits 2 years ago. They have 3 people today.
I had a feeling there was a staffing problem.
Yeah, so they've got the same thing that the rest of the nation has.
Let me guess, the people they could be hiring to work in the county can't afford to live here.
But that's probably it. They probably moved away.
It'll be a societal epic breakdown before they say, "Oh my gosh, maybe we should do something about the housing problems."
Yeah.
So I'm telling you.
Interesting. Like when we were in D.C., again, it was the same problems of they didn't have any help. It was it took us an average of 45 minutes to an hour just to get into a place, and it took 30 to 40 minutes just to get our meal to the table.
Gosh.
So. And I saw people, single-handedly busting their butt, running around, doing things that were phenomenal. The people that are working were doing a great job. So we got to give them credit.
Yeah.
When I checked in out of Florida for my way home, there was one lady and the line was out the door. One lady. They're handling all these people. I saw the stress on her, but she handled it so well. I wanted to reach out to Delta Airlines and just say this person, one woman show really rocked it and really did good. And then she had to leave to go to the gate because there was nobody showed up for the gate either. So we're at this airport, nobody at the gate heard. They brought out this young man to help at the gate. Now he knew what he was doing and he was fast and he was good too. But he didn't look like a gate agent.
No.
It's
like bringing in the old science teacher to teach PE.
That type of thing. But the kid did good. I thanked him. He was the one that was up there by the time I was there, and there was my lady I almost got talked to at the gate, letting us in there, and she was, stressing. So, and deservingly, she had and I thanked her too for doing one heck of a job. It was crazy.
At this point, we have all these overstressed employees. I think they're living off of tips and thank yous.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing how much, and again, it's so weird because it's like, well, where is everybody?
Yeah.
Where
how are y'all making money?
I think we lost more people to COVID than they're giving us credit for. I think we lost half the nation. It's like in the Marvel thing where the guy snapped and 50% of the people died. It's like I feel like if somebody snapped, like all these people walked out of the jobs in America.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a couple comments here. Dave says, "Do you think it's a lack of inspectors that might be the problem?" Was his comment. And then the other thing and the other one is James asks, any thoughts on the planned commercial development at Keho Bay? Do you anticipate any impact on the real estate in the area?
So there's a big article in today's paper about that. I don't know if it was something. I didn't get a chance to read that yet to understand it. Okay. Interestingly enough, in 2004 when I got into the business, I saw that plan. And it was all laid out. We had a big map. I swear that I kept that map when the company I worked for, closed its doors at that place. And I saw it coming. They quickly pulled it off, hid it, and said it wasn't going to happen. And it's exactly happening the way they said it. So if it continues on the way they talked about, Ali'i Drive will end at Kahalu Beach Park. And it'll be a dead-end circle there.
Come on!
No, seriously, that was the plan. Wow. And then it will come down from Keho Shopping Center to Keho Surf and Racket. So those two things that'll be are open. Have you seen the parks coming in down there from Kamehameha Schools, where the 2 hotels were?
Yeah.
Those are coming along beautifully. Those things are looking great.
Yeah.
Those will be in between the 2 roads dead ending. Now, what's holding up the roads is the fact that they can't get Ali'i Parkway in. But this is going to put pressure that's going to finally, I think, make Ali'i Parkway finally materialize, maybe.
Because that's been held up because of ancient remains and burial sites and things like that. So if Kamehameha says it's more important to put a road in than to preserve archaeological sites?
We'll see. we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how this unfolds, but I
Okay,
wish
okay.
I had that plan because the timeshares they talked about and things they talked about are all
All in
happening.
that space. Okay, but get this. What James was talking about though too is the fact that they're going to mow down the sand pit volleyball at the bay, at the Kehoe Bay,
Yeah, it's gonna be sad.
and they're going to build, I guess, a boutique hotel back there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And so that's what
like,
they're
I think
having
about
plans for.
150 rooms or something like that.
Yeah.
There's an upper road that goes across.
Yes, it's been this crazy dirt road that's
Yeah.
been there forever. Things are changing, guys. In fact, Lance said we were looking over this gate, and below us is open land, and then down below us is supposed to be like someday like 130 new homes.
Yeah.
And it's been on the books forever. And Lance said things take a long time, but then they happen. Sometimes they happen.
They happen.
So yeah.
And it will happen. You know, it's been approved. It's been approved. It's been on the books for 30 years. They really, I mean, there's a lot of people fighting them, and a lot of people don't like my answer to this because when they built Puolani Estates, you have all these homes within those roads that were through streets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they come to the end, and they were going to be a through street over to Kona Vistas.
Yeah.
So that's always been in the works. It's been approved, and everybody, just like me too, you know, the minute the plane landed, they should have closed the airport. When I got here, it stopped building.
Pull up the stairs.
Yeah. So roll up the runways. You know, and so everybody feels like that in these subdivisions, and it's been approved long before probably anybody complaining about it.
Like in 1984 or something.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
I have all those approvals. I saved it on my, we did a bunch of research on it a year and a half, 2 years ago. So actually my client did a bunch of research on it and shared it with me.
So eventually at some point, someday, because that guy owns that land, and because of the way property rights work in America, he is going to be able to build something on that land.
It's going to be hundreds of homes are going to be there. We need it. You know, the big thing is that if you guys can't see, we're looking down here to the left, it's nothing but cars at a dead stop down there on the highway. They're barely moving. Yes, we need infrastructure. You go to, whenever we go to the council members, and we're going to try to reverse our strategy with them this year.
Yeah.
Go to the council members and say, what are you doing for affordable housing, you know, or affordable home ownership, and why? Well, we don't have the infrastructure to build it. So we want to go to them this year and hit them first with, you know, what are you doing about infrastructure? And see what their answer is, and then hit them with,
where's the housing?
Where's the housing? If you're doing this for infrastructure, or you're not doing anything, because I don't think they're doing anything.
For infrastructure?
Yeah.
No, because they
want to keep it the way it is.
I know, you guys are so funny. You guys like weigh in on the comments on this one. Do we keep Kona the way it is for only the people who have been able to get here to keep the lifestyle that a lot of people have grown accustomed to in the last 30 years? Or do things change and a little bit more people can get in? And maybe change a little bit of the structure, but maybe make things better from people coming in with new ideas and new innovative ideas.
You know, everything changes, right? And I'll tell you, you know, I've been in Kona for 22 years, and I was on Oahu. I moved there in '84. You know, and the reason I left Oahu was when I moved to Oahu in '84.
Yeah.
I moved into Waikiki, and it was surf shops and Scott slippers, and it was all these things. It was more Americanized, you know, when I moved down there. And by the time I left in '90, it was nothing but Gucci and Kate Spade and
all the Highland
Versace, all these things, and it was all in Japanese writing and everything else. It was totally unobtainable there back in the late '90s, and it completely changed, and I left there. So now I'm here. And, you know, this is building up and changing. So you guys may see me in Molokai in 10 years. So, you know, because I do love the peace and quiet that we've had here in Kona. You know, we all do, but it's going to change. You know, they expected us to be like Honolulu by 20 years ago.
No.
You know, this area, they expected to be developed, and it wasn't, you know, and I blame a lot of that on the volcano.
Yeah.
But now as prices have gotten crazy and we've matched their prices there, people are still coming, so we may be that.
You know what though? The good news is if they hang on to, and again, here we go again, right? I'm you guys. I'm like this. You know, we need housing, but people come here for the lifestyle that they have come. You know, everyone who comes here for 20 years. I want to move to Kona because there's not that many people. I get it. But if they did allow just a few high rises, so that there's less real estate.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no.
I know, but
the
the zoning. I don't know if you guys know this, but the zoning basically says they can't build any building over the height of a palm tree here. And that's kept all that frigging high rise crap out of here, right?
6 floors, I think, is the highest.
Yeah, and so if you go to Maui now, you can't even see the ocean. They've bolted up so closely next to the ocean. And we didn't want to be that.
Yep.
So
We don't
so
wanna
what's
be that.
happening though, it was like when we left Silicon Valley. Then only the rich people get a chance to live there.
Yep.
Is that fair?
No.
So, and then all of a sudden we're going like, like I told people in Silicon Valley, one of these days you guys are going to go like this. Where's my coffee? And there's going to be nobody left to serve them a coffee because nobody else going to live there.
Yep.
And look at, they closed down the Henry Starbucks for a while because they didn't have anybody who could work there because there's no staff.
Oh, look at Wendy's. They closed down.
Yeah, because there's nobody who can live
nothing
in KO. So,
Yeah.
so it's a vexing problem, as I keep being told. And there's no easy answers, and there's a give and take.
Yeah.
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 So if you guys can get into the market.
Yeah, I mean, that's the hard
be
thing,
part
right?
of
We
the
all went
voting
in just like
techniques.
I wanted in. I came over here in 99 and fell in love. And by 2000, we were here. And
You got it?
I love it. I mean, I hated to see they built an air conditioned part in the airport right now. Our
Oh, yeah.
council or legislative people love it. And to me, like, no, I'm losing my
The way it
I want
used
to
to
walk
be.
off on the tarmac on the airplane when I land here.
It's funny, you guys.
Uh,
Eric and I did a video of Eric. It's in the can, so Eric's gonna be working on it and getting it out hopefully in the next few days. But we actually went and started interviewing all the new businesses coming in Kona. Okay,
Did you hit those 2 people I talked about?
Which ones?
The fencing guy and the furniture
Okay,
lady?
those. Okay, so that's down near Costco further.
Yes.
This was
yeah.
like people who businesses
White or
open like right
Waikiki.
on Ali'i.
Yeah, on Ali'i.
Yeah,
Right.
and also we got one up in Hulualoa,
Okay.
and so all the places that and also the brewery block. So all the places that we went into, exciting new stuff,
Uh-huh.
younger people, like people in their 30s and 40s, right? And they're decorating these places that are really hip and fun. Not 'cause it's not like New York, but hip and fun, right? There's vibrancy.
Not retirement community.
Not
Kona.
yeah.
Yeah. Which is cool. I mean, I like to see the youth coming in and doing
Yeah, like
things,
one
but
woman's
yeah.
doing she's doing pottery down at the bays at the Kona the brewery block.
Oh,
And she's
cool.
going to start
Very cool.
teaching a pottery. So you don't have to go up to
Great.
Donkey Mill. You get to go right down there, and and she's and everyone's doing these different things. Like this Puna Chocolate Company is doing bean to bar right in their space, right next to the brewery block, and they're going to start serving chocolate martinis and stuff down there. And then we went downtown, and there's a new daiquiri
Well,
bar.
we're looking for a new sponsor.
Yeah, we are. I'm telling you. So there's one called Spinners. It's going to be a daiquiri bar, and they're
Wow.
building an outdoor lounge area. If you walk downtown and you see this rolling out of AstroTurf, that's going to be an outdoor bar area of this Spinners
cool.
place. And above them is this place called Cheeky Tiki restaurant, and it's going to be a full-on 1950s throwback tiki bar.
Wow.
So
So there's all kinds
That's
of fun
gonna be
things
cool.
happening here.
That's what we need here is a old school tiki
Old
bar.
school, and then what they're going to do with the Kona Bay Hotel, Uncle Billy's, they're going to take that back to the 1950s look, and they're going to renovate it, put some new stuff in it, but kind of keep it old school, kind of cool, right?
Simple, old style.
So
You
there's
look at
ways
that
of doing
furniture
it.
back then. If you guys look, Google like Kona in 50s and 60s, and it's some neat photos. Boy, that retro furniture that was just so simple but cool. It had its own style back then, so
Yeah.
that was cool.
So I think that there's a way that you can integrate growth and keep things happy and
Yeah.
alive. It just has to
It
be
would be
well
good.
planned.
I'm going to say something that I really, really enjoy because, the typical realtor age is 55-year-old woman is your
I'm
typical
57.
realtor.
I just got my license.
So you're fitting the mold.
I
But
fit the mold.
can you believe how many young people are in our board right now? I mean,
lot of young
I love it. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
excited by it. I wish I would have got into it in my 20s and 30s. It's been the best career of my life. And it would have, and it's not being a salesman, it's just helping facilitate the deal.
Yeah,
You know,
a
we-
trusted advisor.
Yeah, a trusted advisor. And we talk about this because it's we won't mention no names, please, say, well, I started to do that and I just couldn't be a salesperson, and it's like, we're not a salesperson. You got 45 days to get out of that deal. We don't try to sell people on anything. We just try to educate them, put them in there, and say, "Is this the right fit for you?"
Right.
We're matchmakers.
You're matchmakers.
Yep.
Right?
So doing that, there is no salesmanship in it. There's people that trust, and you just show them what everything is, and that's what's important. So,
Yeah.
So we got a lizard running across our table. Wanting some
gecko.
more. He's gonna head over to
Yeah.
to the Ola brew
Yep.
and look at the can.
You know what I like about real estate lately? Is that you're right, it's not the hard sales, get that house, right? People are getting so educated through online before they even come out and talk to a realtor.
Yep.
That's one of the things I love about what we do, is that we educate people. In fact, you guys, you know, as this goes on to YouTube, people watch us on YouTube. We had over 1,000 people look at this last month, right? We see them on the street and they come up and say, thank you so much for letting us know what it's like to live there, the real deal, the whole thing, the work that Eric and I do on the 365 channel with telling people
Are amazing.
Lifestyle
you know,
looks like.
the stuff that you guys
they're like this. By the time that I was ready to purchase a home, I knew so much that I could step right into that, and I go, you know, thank you. And I think that that's one thing that the real estate industry does offer, is that this education. Because now that I'm on the back end of trying to, like, you know, fill out zip forms and the purchase contract, there is so much that goes into trying to buy a home with all the stuff.
Yeah.
You need somebody to handhold you.
Yes. Yeah.
You really go through all the stuff. Like I wrote on the group the other day that don't waive your inspections. We have seen people who have done that to try and get the deal get bit in the ass. And you know what? Your realtor says, you know what? Let's think about that. Right?
I'm dead set against. I've had a couple of people that insist on it, you know, and they're in the trade. You know, they're a contractor, they're a carpenter, they're a laborer, they're something that they, you know, we don't have furnaces, we don't have AC units, we don't have a lot of complicated things here. We got a roof and walls and
flooring. That came
and
up the other day
foundation
for us.
Yeah, foundation.
Like, yeah.
So, so there are some important things, but there's some things that that a lot of people feel comfortable with making that judgment. But I'm with you 100%. I was one of the things I couldn't believe. They had somebody up there speaking. They had some of the people that were 30 under 30 winners. You know, so they're 30 years old. What is it? 30 people under 30 years old.
Right, who are killing it in real estate.
Killing it in real estate, you know, and they had this girl from the San Francisco area up there, and I just kind of actually felt bad for her. She presented well, did a good job. I'm sure she's a good realtor, but you know, she talked about giving up those rights to home inspections and stuff, and talked about underpricing things to create a bidding war to raise up the price.
Here we go. Here's my face about young people doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not a good thing, because when people realize that they paid too much for the property, they got 45 days to get out. You go in and out of escrow with your clients. A lot of people forget about those carrying costs. You know, that client may be paying $500 a month in taxes. They may be paying a couple $100 a month in insurance, and they're paying their mortgage payment. They're paying all these costs. So your idea of doing that is not the best. And I did hear her talk about, you know, accepting backups for when it fell out. So
when it fell out.
So obviously they're experiencing that, and I think it's personally think that that's a bad way to go. And several people sitting around me felt the same way. She thought it was a smart way to go, and maybe it is in her market, but I don't agree with that personally.
Yeah.
So,
and I'll tell you guys too. And again, here I am. I'm not going to name names.
Right. No names, please.
No names, please.
I got that from my barbecue
but
show.
Somebody did.
Greg, if you ever watch this.
Yeah, so somebody said, I'm not going to have my inspections, right? And then they move into their new home and they go like this. What the heck? This is broken. It's like, oh, well, you didn't want your inspections. Well, this isn't the way I wanted to move into my new home with this thing I have to deal with now. It's like, oh, I know, but you said, what? And then to be upset, even though they waived inspections, but it's not fun to move 2,500 miles out into the middle of the Pacific Ocean to walk into a home and all of a sudden go, shit, I need new floors. Oh, there was a leak that, I didn't realize that. Oh, now I need to replace the wall. That's not fun.
No, and that's our biggest thing that we always instill in people, you know, is excuse me, do that inspection and make it as is, where is what is. But when you find out that as is means you need a new floor, you need a new wall, you need a roof, you can get out. You know, you can.
Or you can like ask for $30,000 off the price of the house and realize, oh shit, I better get my inspectors or my my roofer, my contractor to get in there and get that stuff handled before you have to move in. And you can't live in your house until it's all handled. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So anyway, on this at the backside, but when we refer out and then somebody comes back and says, like this happened to another friend of mine up in Pualani Ranch. I pulled out the medicine cabinets to put some new lights in, and all the electrical was effed up because it was like old electrical, and they didn't see that in the first inspection level. Yeah. And then she was upset to say, why wasn't this found out during the inspection process? Mm-hmm. And so it's just, there's things that happen. Yeah,
so. You can't you don't pull things out of the wall and find
to be able to inspect it, right?
Yeah.
And she realized that at least she didn't waive inspections, but she was kind of like shocked. Yeah. But this other person who waived inspections was still shocked, and yet that's what happened. So anyway,
that's a hard one. Yeah.
So Kevin just is following up in a humorous way, saying if it was a '50s tiki bar, he probably wouldn't leave. Is what he's saying.
Yeah.
They probably have '50s drinks too. I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah, when they open it up and get it all decorated and stuff, Kevin will go and have drinks there. I think it's gonna be totally fun.
So there was a guy that lived up in the Sunset area. I forget his name. His nickname was Tiki something. I don't know if you guys know. There's a guy that makes tiki lamps here in Kona, and he sells them worldwide. And he hand makes every single tiki lamp. So he buys these old tiki mugs, and it makes me sick. And I still kick myself because he made me this one from a 1960s tiki mug. It was so beautiful, it was so badass. When we sold our home in Kamani Trees, I had a tiki bar built under my lanai. And this tiki lamp just fit there so perfect. I loved it so much. I wanted to take it, and I left it for the buyer, who was so full of shit. I can say that we're not on TV. 3 months after he moved in, he had sold the tiki bar, gave away the tiki lamp, did all these things. It's his property, it's his thing, but to come in and say how much he loved it, and I left the tiki lamp there, and I wanted to take it with me because it was small, it was cool. Yeah. And I got sidetracked because there was another guy up in Sunset area that tiki something, and he had all this stuff from the tiki room in at Disneyland. And so this guy has been a collector for 50 years, and it was amazing. His entire house was, and I wish I remember his name, Tiki something, yeah. But if you want tiki lamps, Tiki J's, his name's Jason Shelfo. Jason Shelfo. Mm-hmm. He does a lot of his stuff on Instagram, and look at his stuff. Tiki J's, like the letter J. And amazing. His stuff that he makes is amazing. Yeah. I don't know if you know Abbas and Brad
Parker.
Brad Parker and Abbas.
Brad Parker makes amazing fun tiki artwork.
Amazing tiki artwork.
They probably are going to have that guy do something in that bar. They'd be silly if they didn't.
Yeah. Somebody needs to tell him, because they might not even know who he is. Because he's moved off to the mainland. He was here.
Did he?
He's back and forth now, I think. But he, Tiki J, it was amazing because Brad and Abbas reached out to Jay to put his tiki lamps at their opening of. They did the 60th anniversary for the wetsuit guys, Body Glove. And so the Body Glove owners all flew in, and Tiki J had his lamps all set up there. It was a big event at the hotel, and Mayor Billy Kanoy proclaimed it Tiki Day for the island. So really cool. So so Tiki's in a bar will be awesome.
See, this is the old school stuff you guys get a chance to hear when you guys tune in. Yeah. I feel like we're doing like this podcast. It's like, let's talk about the old stuff. We'll throw some real estate in there for good measure. So Eric's giving us the big, Eric's doing his usual wrap it up. So unless you guys have any questions about what's happening in the market or Hawaii in general, Tiki, we will be here soon. I didn't ask you, I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you think that maybe we do the Zoom next week or no?
I think so. I think we can do that.
Because the Zoom gives us a chance to talk about all the Hawaii Island statistics, and we get input from different realtors. And also on that Zoom call, we can also give you guys a little bit more information about what's happening with the mortgage market too. So Eric's got a question.
So Lori says, thanks for all the information. Great and relaxing conversation today.
Awesome. Thanks, Lori.
I feel like we're the barbecue.
Yeah, we're in their living room. I feel like we're with us.
Kevin throws something out, we go off for half an hour.
I love that we got the whole stage, nobody interrupting us, and we can talk all we want.
That's one thing on the Zoom calls. We're with like 6 or 7 different people, and everyone just talks about their little thing. Where Lance and I have this let's just shoot this shit thing. So if you guys love this part of my life, and I know you do, subscribe to the real estate channel, 365 Hawaii Real Estate Minute, and you guys get a chance to hear this every month. And thank you, Lance, for bringing your expertise, and awesome. His also because his leadership entrepreneurship in the real estate industry is very, very important. That's an amazing thing that you offer to this world too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you guys. We'll see you next month. Actually, are we seeing you next month?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I'll become. No.
I may be doing it for you. Huh?
You are. So Lance is going to run it for me because I'm going to be in Paris, and so Lance.
Watch out for horses and my wife.
Yeah, so he's going to be running it by himself. Maybe Kimmy can have a little chat.
Yeah, Kimmy will be my Portuguese sitting next to me.
Yeah. So see how that goes, and we'll see you guys. I'll see you guys in July. Okay.
Awesome. You guys have a great trip. You too.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys next month.
Au revoir.
She's fine.